It's time for stories that are trending now, and Olamide Odekunle is standing by to bring us up to speed. Good morning, Olamide.
Good morning to the three musketeers. Where's the fourth one?
Good morning.
He's gone to see the king.
I have some good stories for you guys. Can I take it away?
Of course.
Good morning, Nigeria. As I always say, TVC has a finger on the pulse and an eye on the streets. And here on the Trending Now segment, we do our best to bring you stories that are trending and that are shaping the world that you and I live in. We begin today at the airport, or should I say in the air, where there was high drama at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport yesterday, and it's made its way into national headlines, with Fuji music icon K1 The Ultimate at the center of it all. Now, according to the Federal Airports Authority of Nigeria, a value jet flight preparing to depart for Lagos was disrupted after the musician reportedly attempted to board with a liquid substance, later confirmed to be alcohol, despite several warnings from security and the flight captain. Apparently, things escalated quickly, and Fan says that K1 refused to comply, even allegedly spilling the contents on a security officer. The pilot tried to intervene but was met with resistance, and the aircraft's door was closed, but the passenger refused to step away, eventually leading to his removal by security personnel. Meanwhile, ValueJet has now confirmed the incident and withdrawn the two pilots that were involved after footage surfaced showing the plane taxiing with ground staff still dangerously close by. The Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority has now suspended these pilots for breaching safety protocol, and aviation authorities say that investigations are ongoing. But one thing is clear, aviation protocols are there for a reason. Let's take a look at social media. Abbas says the security should have escorted him out, not attempted to harm him. That's unacceptable. Unprofessional behavior everywhere. I'll take two more tweets. Michael Achimugu, this is the director of the spokesperson for public affairs for the Fan, I believe. He says, how can a passenger be told to respect safety laws? And he's screaming, do you know who I am? For airports, people think that safety is a joke. Interesting. Abib Fajobi says, if this is the case, the NCAA should do further investigations and clear the captain and the FO. We all know how these celebrities always behave. NCAA should do a proper investigation on this matter. The crew might be right. Very interesting. If you ask me, I think this is a classic case of do you know who I am syndrome, but I wasn't there. Moving on now to matters on ground. A blunt warning from the Lagos state government has sparked fresh concern over water safety in the Lekki area. Now, according to Mahmoud Adebite, the permanent secretary of the Office of Drainage Services and Water Resources, residents who rely on boreholes in Lekki may unknowingly be drinking contaminated water, or as he bluntly put it, water contaminated by fecal matter. Now, speaking at a recent stakeholders meeting, Adegbite said that the increasing contamination is linked to poor wastewater management and called for urgent action. He stressed that untreated boreholes in the area pose a serious health risk, and he's advocated for better waste treatment systems to prevent the spread of disease. Take a look at what he had to say. Well, we cannot broadcast what he said on air because he used a terrible word for fecal matter. But this is coming as Lagos battles worsening flooding following downpours. And with more rain and flash floods expected, officials are now urging residents to take precautions and pay attention to their water sources. This is because, in Adebite's words, water that looks clean might not be safe. I thought it was very important to take this story. Now, what is interesting about this story is the fact that Lekki is seen as an area for big boys and big girls. And to juxtapose the fact that they might be drinking water contaminated by fecal matter shows us that status or money cannot protect anyone from broken infrastructure. Let's take a look at social media. Finding Solace says, Lagos as a whole should have strict rules on individuals drilling boreholes. You guys are close to the Atlantic Ocean, and incessant drilling of boreholes creates risk for earthquakes. Play the two disasters in your mind. Make sinkholes filled with water no finish you guys in the future. I'll take two more tweets. Ihe Nacho says, but the Lagos state government is unable to provide pipe-borne water to citizens living in all those areas. What do they expect the citizens to do? Continue to buy water from tankers? And Fanya Mambo says, the Lagos Drainage Services and Water Resources should provide clearer guidelines and support to prevent health risks. Now, team, this is very interesting. The story that I want to focus on, and I'm sure you want to focus on as well, is this issue at the airport with K1 The Ultimate. You know, we always have these debates about separating the art from the artist. This behavior was unacceptable if reports by the Director of Public Affairs of the NCAA are correct. Do you think this is the classic case of do you know who I am syndrome?
If you have to say, do you know who I am, then you're not a celebrity. if you have that celebrity status, as you come in, everybody should know. You know, you don't have to prove. And I wonder, I mean, what bottle of alcohol was he holding? Was it Ogogoro or one very expensive alcohol that he couldn't let go? It is common knowledge that you can't go into the cabin with alcohol, perfumes, aerosols, and so many other things. And anybody that carries them, they confiscate them right there before you get into the plane. It is normal practice. So for him to feel that, do you know who I am? My brother, after so many hit Fuji music, you're still not a celebrity, unfortunately.
Well, still touching on that, K1 The Ultimate has come out to speak regarding this matter through his media aide. He said that the whole matter is being exaggerated beyond what they think it is, and that he is actually the victim here, that what he was holding was a flask with water inside, and that he did not cause or breach any protocol, airport protocol as it's been put, and so that we should not sensationalize this matter. But I am saying that whatever could have transpired could have been better handled, and perhaps he could have just submitted to the rules and regulations at the airport. But I think that investigations need to be carried out, and then we get to the root of the matter. Although we hear the pilots have been suspended because of what happened, they've also breaching protocol. But I think that this matter couldn't have gone this far. But let's get to see what happens at the end of the day when investigations are done.
Yes, it's very important that investigations are carried out, you know, on the side of the pilots. You know, yesterday when I saw the video, before the other stories came up, I was like, so as we have Agbero drivers, we also have Agbero pilots, you know, because it doesn't make sense when you taxi, when you have, you know, ground personnel still around there, not even giving you the go-ahead. You've not even gotten the directive to move, and then you taxi in and they're ready to take off. It's very, very dangerous. If you're angry at maybe one person or two, you should be worried about the hundreds of passengers that you have on board. So, so what exactly is the training that we have as you know, flight officials? So I think talking about Mayogun, that's Wasiu Ayinde, Marshal. If he's found wanting, you know, proper investigation ought to be done, because I don't want to believe that that's his first time flying and he knows the rules. He knows the rules. He should be able to, you know, understand how to not breach protocols, how to do things correctly. That is, if he is found wanting of this. So anyone who is found wanting, regardless of whoever you know, whoever you are, you should be brought to justice. And talking about Lekki and the waste matter, I believe Lagos State government, any government of anywhere, should ensure that there is pipe-borne water running into every street, every home, because in South Africa, I understand even the president takes, you know, drinks his water from, you know, pipe-borne water, from tap water. So we used to have this. When you are revitalizing the roads, you're repairing the roads, you remove the pipe-borne water, and then, I don't know, why do we do all of this? Let's make it a point of duty that we provide potable water to everyone. It's our right, basic needs.
Absolutely. Thank you all so much for your input. In regards to Wasiu Ayinde, it's a classic case of he said, she said, because the statement they put out really, it's juxtaposed with what he said is completely different. But like you all said, investigations must be carried out. I'll take some more stories. Moving on now, this is the type of news I like to hear. The Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, has just honored 2 officers who remind us that integrity still lives in the system. The Assistant Commissioner of Police, Aliyu Shaba, and the Chief Superintendent of Police, Sentomi Obi, have been awarded the winners of the 2023 and 2024 Police Officers of the Year Award, respectively. Recall that CSP Sentomi Obi made headlines for boldly rejecting a $17,000 bribe. Yes, you heard me right, $17,000. And he said no to that money. Now, both officers were decorated with new ranks at a special ceremony at Force headquarters. And the IGP said that the gesture shows that the Force isn't just watching, it's ready to reward excellence and courage. He also promised better welfare packages for officers who continue to serve with honor. I think that in a country that's hungry for heroes, CSP Obi and ACP Shaba are timely reminders that our character still counts and that doing the right thing still pays. This is very interesting because we saw retired police officers, protesting, coming out to say they haven't been paid. And so it's important that we honor the badge while they're in active service, and even after retirement. The badge should not lose its shine or valor after retirement. Let's take a look at social media. I know we have a very tricky relationship with the Nigerian police, but let's keep an open mind. Caleb Franklin says, never have we had a government this responsible to issues and the citizens. I like the way they are touching the life of everyone. Just do your bit for Nigeria and see what Nigeria will do for you. That is surprisingly positive. Thank you for that, Caleb. Benjamin Mbanefo says, Police of the Year in an insecure and corrupt space. I hope he stays safe to continue his work as a public officer. Secondly, if there's no cash reward, no matter how little, I pray he remains faithful next time. Usually, you need to support a man who returns such huge money. We'll take one more tweet. And finally, Adama says, is this police officer aware of what awaits him after retirement from the force? Did he see his senior colleagues as they protested for better welfare package a couple of weeks ago? Interesting. We must honor the Nigerian police badge. But moving on in somewhat international news, in a developing international case that's now drawing serious attention, Ghanaian dancehall artist Shatta has found himself in the spotlight, but not for his music. His luxury Lamborghini has reportedly been confiscated by the Federal Bureau of Investigation in collaboration with Ghana's Economic and Organized Crime Office. Now, according to a statement from the EOCO, the seizure is tied to a $4.7 million fraud case currently under investigation by U.S. authorities. And the car was taken from Shatta Wale's residence in Trasacco Valley, Phase 1 Accra, as part of a broader crackdown on suspected international financial crimes. Sources say that Shatta Wale was found in possession of the vehicle and was allowed to surrender it voluntarily after reportedly pleading with officers to avoid a public scene. He was said to be concerned that the spectacle of the seizure could damage his public image, given how closely the car is associated with his brand. This is what he had to say.
I will leave the car for you people. Don't come to my house. Hey! Don't come to my house. Make nobody say they invite me. That boy, I buy new Lamborghini. My music, the way they tire, where this country, did they do me for you? One day, me too, I go wake up, Me too, I go wake up. And we go chop president for this country. One day. Oh, after this matter, remember, after this matter, I'll leave this matter for you. Don't even try and say they invite me. Go.
While the artist has not been officially charged with any wrongdoing at this moment in time, authorities say that a final report may be sent to the U.S. Department of Justice and the FBI, suggesting the matter is far from closed. Let's take a look at social media. Kelvin Ashong says, why didn't he do his due diligence, proper verification, and why didn't he know it was from Adu Boahene, that is a fraud accomplice apparently, car titles, etc. Oh, Shatta Wale, your brand is too huge to play with, and you played with your brand big time. I'm sorry, but he could be implicated in this case. Protect your brand always, bro. We'll take another tweet. Kofi Buckle says, it's a silly joke to call yourself a third party. The owner of that car was shot and killed. And now this car has ended up in Ghana. Are you just realizing today that buying stolen property is illegal? Whether it's linked to a third party or even further back, the car needs to be returned. And finally, the Lightbringer says, if Shatta Wale truly has no link to Nana Amoah and can prove he obtained the Lamborghini legitimately, then the investigation should clear his name. The EOCO just has to do its job. And if he's clean, the truth will speak for itself. This is very interesting, team. Before I take it, I have some good news after for you for Niger Triumphs. But can you chime in on this quickly? We're seeing increasingly that the FBI and foreign authorities are getting involved in the African entertainment scene. Do you think there is a link between I don't know how to say this, but fraud and Afrobeats?
You see, the investigation takes you wherever the investigation takes you to. If it takes you to Africa and the person that bought the car is in entertainment, that's where the investigation took you to. So I don't think it's FBI targeting the entertainment industry in Africa. Shatta has been a controversial figure from the very beginning till now, and maybe that's why controversies are following him for losing a car like that he obviously really loves. You know, it is painful, and I feel his pain too. But the story that really caught me is the IGP, you know, honoring these 2 police officers for being disciplined. You know, $17,000, you said no to it with a police officer's salary. These guys needed this recognition, and the IGP did it, and I am so happy about it. Indeed.
I hope that beyond recognition, something is done, some awards, some monies are given to them to just as a way of encouraging them and encouraging others that it's possible. You do not have to be rich to be able to be disciplined and say no to these kinds of things, because we've heard some other persons say it's because of the state of their welfare. That is why they collect bribes. That is why they do this and that. These persons are changing the narrative. And these are the kinds of persons that we should reckon with as a society, and also ensure that we commend them and award them what is due them for standing to defend the name of that institution. Yeah. And for Shatta, I can only wish you the best in this.
Rejecting 25.5 million naira is no easy feat. That's going by 1,500 naira exchange rate, you know, from dollar to naira. And then we have people in the police who are doing this. You know, I know there are some of them in the Nigerian army. There's some of them, you know, presenters. There's some of them who are just ordinary Nigerians doing their thing, and they have integrity because they believe that good name is better than riches, and they know that apart from being accountable to the people, to the government, they're also one day going to be accountable to God. And I want to appreciate them. I want to congratulate them. I also want to urge Nigerians to follow suit. Shatta, I wish you the best, but I believe every accountable, responsible, single, if you don't have anything in your cupboard, so to speak, then you should be able to, you should love being invited for investigation because you just want to clear your name. You know, integrity is very, very key. That's just my words.
Absolutely. Indeed, congratulations, officers. Thank you for shining and polishing the Nigerian police badge.
Yeah.